All right, any business arising from our minutes? Everybody's good? Do you need a minute? No, okay. So I think we'll move right into reports, and we'll start with John on HR update.
Let's see what we have. We've been busy in HR. We've had 128 orientations with a lot of our seasonal staff coming back. And we've also done, those 128, we've done also additional WMIS 2015 training with all 128. As far as lost time incidents, we had 7, and only one of those was a lost time incident. And that's all I have.
Any questions for John?
Seasonal business, you sense that any issues taken care of. You don't remember, I know Don Doyle's off, several others.
If we're going names, I'm sure we should not.
Okay, no.
In
Yeah.
Just
public.
positions, just positions.
As far as COVID related, you mean?
No, I think just health and safety here.
Yeah, well, I have only the 7 as far as incidents that have happened.
And on the essential services top-up.
Yep.
I think you said 18 went out,
Yes.
and I had a call last night, the checks are going out.
Yeah, they would.
Some employees are saying, why did he get it or she get it, not me?
Right.
And I said, if you're below 28.5,
Mm-hmm.
you get it, correct?
Yeah, below 3,000 in the pay period, which is I think a 4-week period, and below 18.75 an hour. Some specific criteria that they have to hit.
So could a seasonal worker apply for it?
Yeah, they could.
They're $20 an hour.
Yeah, well, no, if they're $20 an hour, then they would be disqualified.
It's
So it's
18.75. Yeah.
18.75.
Yep. I can certainly send you those criteria. Yep, absolutely.
There are others under review now.
And you have another batch moving in?
I do. 52 preliminary numbers. They seem to be 52. I'm in the application
Now,
process.
John, just through the chair, I want to
Yeah,
thank
that's
you
qualified.
for doing that work, because it's been welcome news to these employees that work below that level,
Mhm.
and that added 1,000 has been greatly appreciated in the household.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for doing that.
What we've done is it directly deposited into their accounts, and then we crafted a letter that was sent in the mail to them, thanking them for their services and thanking them on behalf of the provincial and federal government, and thanking them for their work, and they'll get that in the mail.
And I think when it ends, John, I think
Right.
it'd be appropriate to, the minister responsible is Minister of Social Development and Housing for that portfolio, or is it Matthew McKay?
I'm not familiar with
Well,
the.
we should send a letter of
Right.
thanks of how well this has served our employees.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On that topic, I think we should start diligently start fearing these things that come to us as elected people, right to the department head, like, that's who should be dealing with them. I think sometimes they think they're going to get more benevolent treatment if they treat with us. So all we do, and I think we're all the same, we phone John, or we phone or Lorenda, or we phone any one number of the staff. So all we are is another hoop in
Another
the
what?
barrel, and it just slows the service.
Who? So he's saying when you get the phone call, your worship.
Councillor, I'd like to give my brother, Richard, credit, because Richard brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
And then I brought it to John and Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
And then John said, well, let me look into it. So in terms of another hoop, I think that other hoop, along with my brother, was advantageous in providing more monies or funding during this pandemic that we're living in.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is when you get those calls.
No, I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wasn't a call. There was
Oh.
no call. The call was from an employee.
Right.
All it was just trying to get a clarification.
Right.
So
And that's,
sometimes they don't like to call City Hall, they like to call the elected representative. Is that you're talking about, or is
Yeah.
are you
I'm talking about the process.
Yeah, that's.
I would defer them, because if I start giving them advice, they're in trouble.
That's first half.
If there's going to be a mistake made, I want John to make the mistake, not me.
Yeah.
And he's well aware, he's more aware of the rules, and he gets to know the employees
Yeah.
also, to see what the dilemma or situation they're in. It's an operational thing, but I don't want to harp on that.
No, but on that, I made quite sure to this person that called,
Yeah.
call John Mooney.
Yeah.
HR,
yeah.
and that's what I do all the time. And John, I know you probably get calls
Yep.
because Philip Brown told me to give you a
Yep,
call.
correct.
And once that channel is set up between the employee and John, he feels more comfortable calling John, and he spreads the word throughout the ranks that movie guy at City Hall, he's not a bad guy after all.
Pretty smart.
And if John doesn't answer, come
Not as
back.
bad as you would think.
All
Well
right,
done, John.
thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
All right, Jen, communications update, verbal.
Yeah, so the first report in the package is on the entrance sign. So I know we talked about this at our last committee meeting, but today we've brought forward some templates in different color schemes because really we're not tied to a specific color, but when we were told to kind of complement the signage at the foot of the Hillsborough Bridge, there's only black and a brown, brick brown on that one, so we just wanted to get your feedback, and then we do need to send it to council if everyone's in agreement to do so. So I did include a photo of the existing signage, what's being replaced, so that is a gold, it did used to have some color on our crest, so there was a little bit of green in the crest, but gold and black. And the one at the foot of the Hillsborough Bridge is brown and black, but again, we're not tied to using those colors. And then of course the city colors are included in these templates as well. This font matches our branding. This is our official fonts. It's fully bilingual, unlike our existing signs. They're not quite fully bilingual. They were almost there. And our Birthplace of Confederation logo as well. Versus the Top Hat logo, because there were other partners involved in that Hillsborough Bridge signage, and so it wasn't just strictly the city branding. So we're just looking for hopefully moving this forward.
So Jim,
Option 5 stood out to me big time. I don't know if it's the white that comes off the darker blue colors. I liked that one a lot. Sorry. Yeah, that was my,
Like 5C?
on the back, the option
Oh,
5.
Yeah.
I just thought it was nice and bright anyway. Like,
4 and 5 is, sorry, easy. Yeah, 3 and 4 is consistent to what we had on the entrance to Charlottetown. Right, correct, Jen?
Probably 3 would be the closest
Yeah.
one to it, yes. My concern is that, I mean, for me, the printed brown isn't, I'm not a huge fan. I don't know if we can play around with different shades of it. But where we're comparing it to a material we're not going to be able to use on these other signs, we're going to be printing on an aluminum, like the road signs, where the signage you're looking at the Hillsborough Bridge is actually stone. So I can't guarantee that that brown's gonna be exactly the same, or that it's gonna look as nice as that one does, because we're not able to use that same material and afford these signs unless council wants to look at it for capital next year. So that would be my only hesitation on the brown.
What do you recommend from your perspective as being the most appropriate sign?
I like the idea of because the city and the previous councils embraced that blue color for the city. We've been using it in our logo for, well, longer than I've been here. And the neighborhood signs use that blue as well. So I like the idea of tying the entrance signs back into the neighborhood signs a bit, even though it's not the same template and it's still unique.
So is that 5 your?
is that 5?
Yeah, 5 would be my favorite as well. But
Chair,
yes.
I have a question or a suggestion. So we have French and we have English. Should we not have Mi'kmaq in there?
Is it official language?
Well, I don't know.
We have 2 official languages.
Do we?
Yeah.
So
French
how
and English.
come all the road signs in the different areas we're adding on the 3rd language? I'm just
that's a good
asking.
point.
Just asking.
So that means you'll have to change your other signs too.
Maybe, yeah. And maybe it's not something that has to be done because it's not an official language. I just thought that it would be certainly, especially in the entrances, to have that, because I mean,
Roots, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in?
Are we gonna load the signs up too much then, which you're going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4? No, I agree with you, man, on this. but at the same time, is your sign gonna be too much then? But all, you know, you're gonna have your French, your English, your Mi'kmaq.
Underneath the little sign, could you just have the Mi'kmaq welcome?
It's a very,
Malali Way, I think it is, for welcome. Is that, no, is that thank you, Malali Way?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just thought it would be a really nice, classy touch for our entrance signs for a reference, and maybe it's not so much up where it says welcome to and where the French and English is, but maybe on the bottom, a welcome, just,
So that's something, if you wish, we can further explore, and of course, we should probably consult with the community as well to see if they have any issue with that. And of course, ultimately, we'll go back to council for final approval.
So just to get some further clarity, are we talking about a second sign underneath
No.
this sign,
No,
or?
incorporate
we're-
with the sign.
So reducing the font size of what we've got to fit it underneath, or changing the design and shape altogether?
Either putting it with the other two languages or putting it underneath. I think the council was talking about under the logo.
yeah,
Council.
could be under the logo. Just somewhere that, I mean, your designs are so, like, they're gorgeous, so you don't want to mess with what you've already done, but if there was a way that it didn't mess with your designs. And I agree with you, I love number 5, my favorite is number 5.
I'm 3 and 4, but I would prefer that if you're gonna go with the 3 languages, it should be welcome to, bienvenue, and Mi'kmaq. You don't hide it down in the corner. It has to
Yeah.
be prominent with the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going that way, that means that our other signage would have to do that also. Because you can't have an inconsistency amongst your
Our other
signage.
signage is only in English.
Well, it should be in both languages.
We don't offer bilingual services though, so as a municipality, we've always gone with English because we can't offer bilingual. The only reason we went bilingual is because the committee asked us to be consistent with what was there.
No, the signage, the entrance signage, when I was on council, we made them bilingual back in
Yes.
2004.
But you're talking about making the other signage.
Well, no,
in-
going down the road, if you decide to go with the 3 languages, you have to be consistent. Any signs that you replace, that it would have the 3 languages.
Do you just mean entrance signs, or you're talking about the neighborhood signs? The
Should be
neighborhood
all,
signs are
but,
only
we're
in
only
English.
stuck, right now we're discussing entrance
Entrance
signs.
signs.
Yeah, it should be 3, and they should be all equally printed, if that's what we're going.
So, Madam Chair, there's 2 things on the floor right now. One is which option to choose.
Yes.
I think that should choose first, and then
Yes.
number 2 is the issue of adding this to it. So just so we can keep
Move
moving
on,
it forward.
absolutely. So could we have a vote on maybe which number we would like to, or a recommendation, or, Alana, you had said you like
So-
5?
And staff is recommending 5.
5.
I understand.
Might
I'm
be-
3 or 4, but listen, as long as we're getting new signage, but
Do you have a
I vote
again,
5.
You're
it's the consistencies that our main sign coming in off Hillsborough Bridge is brown.
You're a 5 as well? Okay, Jennifer, I think 5, poor Philip's out, but,
No, it's not poor Philip, it's just my opinion.
I
Okay,
know,
and we'll
I'm
get a
just-
couple
just
options to
joking.
bring back to you with the
Everybody's on edge here.
third language on it.
Okay, that would be the next part, is to
Thank you.
just come back to our next meeting with the language. Thank you.
Okay, the second report in the package is the Did You Know campaign. So we took a look at, I think one of our goals here is to get this rolling right away. So rather than reinventing the wheel, we took a look at what other municipalities have been doing quite successfully in terms of engaging the community in learning more about municipal government, which will also address some of the things we talked about as the goal for this. So campaign goals, assisting the public in understanding and navigating municipal government services, and reducing the frequency of repetitive questions to council and departments relating to issues that tend to be outside of the jurisdiction of municipal government and or the authority of council, and redirecting citizens to the level of government most appropriate for their inquiry or concern to try to avoid some of that runaround that people feel like they're getting. So I just wanted to show you quickly a program that we'd like to propose that be part of this campaign. So Saugeen Shores uses it.
Have you met Ross, a resident of Saugeen Shores? So far, Ross has learned about municipal budgets, development charges, and funding big projects. Today, Ross is learning about how he can stay informed with what's happening in his local municipality, especially around budget season. Let's meet up with Mayor Luke Charbonneau at the municipal office.
There's Philip.
Hey Ross, I'm so glad you're interested in keeping up with what's going on in our community. There are many ways
I love
that
that
you
he's
can
wearing
stay up to
his
date.
mayor's necklace.
First, you can check the town website, which is always being updated with current news and events.
So basically it allows us to create caricatures. We can do them of anyone. It's sort of like if you've ever created an avatar for yourself, that's basically the idea. It's really easy to use. Our students already been trained on it, although we'd like permission from committee to purchase the program, which is $400 for the year. And one of the other examples that are similar, if I can get this to cooperate with me. And I know it seems a little elementary, but sorry, I'm gonna stand.
That's what we want. Very elementary.
But it's
Can we get one of these in planning too?
Sit on the committee. There's space there for new members.
Oh dear.
so here's one without the caricatures. This one, almost immediately, they saw 5 times the engagement that they were seeing on their other.
I would like to help you understand how
Post?
your city develops its budget. We always hear about them, and often this can feel like another language altogether. Before we get started, there is important information you should know. Ontario cities like Ottawa receive only 9% of all taxes collected, but are responsible for over 50% of the infrastructure. Let's start by looking at what the word budget means. Simply put, it is a planned, itemized summary of money that is coming into the city and how that money is spent for a specific period of time. It is very important to note that provincial government legislation in Ontario states money coming in equals money going out, also known as revenue equals expenditures or a balanced budget.
So I won't make you watch it all, but they're still getting hits off of this, and it was a while ago that and it's one of those ones that they can share every year close to budget time. It really breaks down how their budget works, and as a result, they got more engagement from the community in their actual budget process. So there's municipalities that have proven this approach works. With that, because we want to make sure we reach all of our demographics, we're proposing that we also do some text posts as well, not just video, and also add on to that an FAQ style webpage where people could visit anytime, and all of these videos as we launch them and post, that information would all be housed there. So ultimately we would keep referring people to that page, and it would connect to the other departments. We would meet regularly with the department heads and members of council to ask about what are the common questions you're getting, what are the issues that you feel the public needs more information about. And then we also suggested that while our focus isn't on paid advertising, that we might want to consider a couple of short radio campaigns, maybe a few print ads to make sure that we're not missing anyone. Although we did go through our demographics for social media, and we do feel like the majority of the different age groups are online. We're looking at, scripting, making it light, really engaging, and looking at a variety of issues. Obviously, we'd be coming back to council for some direction on that, as well as the departments, but early on we talked about, property tax collection, so a video like that kind of explains more to the public. We're a full service municipality, but we don't actually get all of the property taxes. Hiring, I know we take a lot of questions through council on hiring, so maybe driving them back to HR and how that process works, and what's operational versus procedural.
Absolutely.
So looking more at what council's role is versus administration.
And so the intent of the ads, if you had any in the paper and on or on the radio, is to drive them to the website.
Yes,
Just to say
and
go
promote the
check it.
campaign itself, like encourage people to go check it out, because there's no way you'd be able to summarize everything that you're talking about throughout the course of the campaign into an ad. You could give ideas, but it wouldn't be as effective as just driving people to the campaign you've created.
Would that do what Mike was sort of talking about one other time? The councilor's role, the mayor's role, and all that
Absolutely.
stuff?
Yeah.
Did you know MGA, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So they understand that things have changed for us from what you experienced prior to this council.
Yeah.
And how we have different, just, it's educational. I think it's excellent, and I think it's simple, but it's something that's not too long, too drawn out, too
Yeah.
wordy, and people will at least have a starting point.
Yeah.
And as Jen said, it's been tried and tested in other
Yes.
municipalities.
Yeah.
And
it's
they're-
$400.
and it's working, and it's $400
Like,
for a whole year.
I'd almost pay
And
for
you
that,
like
so.
it?
I do, yeah,
Okay,
very
yeah,
much,
okay.
yeah. It seems like
I
it'll
think
be
So
a
does
lot.
that have to go to
Good.
council?
You like it?
That's just that's already in the budget?
So.
You're well, Peter.
I do want to add that because we were saying that maybe we do a couple radio campaigns and a couple print ads. So we were proposing just a few weeks of radio, 2 print ads, and then of course the cost of the program. I do have in here proposed cost of $6,000. We can certainly reduce that, but it would impact the number of ads that we could do through radio or print. So
Do we have 6,000 in our budget? We'd have to ask for that over and above.
We
Okay.
will check around and see if we can come up with the computer program. That's not an issue at all.
Yeah, no, the program we can do.
The other ones will.
It's just the advertising.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
I do too.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll move it forward.
absolutely. Great job, Jennifer.
Good job.
And
Good
we
job,
did, I know it's in the report, but we did propose that we do this for the summer while we have some help to carry it out, and then maybe evaluate at the end of the summer to see, do we want to continue it, and how do we do that with the resources we have.
So we want to get this to council sooner as opposed to later so they can get started? Is that the idea for the extra?
Does that have to go to council?
No, the $6,000 does though
No.
for
No.
the campaign?
We'll try and find it within the budget.
Shift her around there.
I think it's over 10,000, isn't it? Has it got to be approved by council?
We do need to educate the rest of the council that they have this opportunity to engage,
Yeah, and
so
we we'll get in touch
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
everyone.
Good.
start at the very beginning and just roll her out.
Well, maybe at our
And-
next monthly council meeting, when you give your report, you can give a little chit chat to all the council.
You can help me write something up for that
Yeah,
then?
Okay.
please.
Good recommendation. Other than the minutes are in your package, if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Okay,
This is
good.
kind of a move to educate people. And
Right.
when people know what's going on, they're a lot happier.
Correct.
Yes.
It's a communication tool, and that's what the most
So
important
good.
thing
Yeah,
is, the
love it.
communication. Everybody's getting the same information
Yeah.
with good communication.
It reared its ugly head, and not to drag it out, it reared its ugly head at 9 Pine Drive. All the residents said, and the press said, we saw it on Monday in the paper, the educated people in this area recommended that it be not go ahead, 9 Pine Drive. The people on the planning board recommended it not go ahead, yet council overturned their recommendation and approved it. They have to understand that the staff in planning is a recommending body. The volunteers or the members on the planning board are, for the most part, volunteer, they do a small stipend, but they're also recommending. The decision making is in here. That blows the heck out of their arguments. Recommender, decision.
Yeah.
And that's what they have to understand. They don't understand that. And that, if they did, I'm not gonna say they're gonna be clicking their heels together, at least they'll understand.
I think they understand it, I just don't think they like it. That's
Well, they don't
probably.
understand that the staff doesn't make decisions and the board doesn't make decisions, they make recommendations.
Right.
This body in here called city council
Yeah.
makes decisions.
Make sure you
That's
get
what they don't
interviewed for
get.
Did You Know?
So
We'll
just
have
on
your
that
icon.
point, Mr. Councilor Duffy,
Yeah.
the staff not only went over just for this issue, this past decision, it went over back in 2012,
Yeah.
2013, went back to council in 2016, and 10 councilors agreed
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
staff that it shouldn't go ahead at 2017. You know, again, you know, as being a former chair of planning, I was a former chair of planning too. You know, you can say, put out all the information you want, and you can talk to the most educated people, but when people view their homes, okay, their
Yeah.
homes are their castle,
Yeah,
then all these arguments that we're just talking about now go out the window.
yeah. And I
Because it
realize
becomes
that.
more
Yeah.
emotional,
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
then we'd like it.
Well, they're not gonna be happy, but they'll understand the process. Right now, they don't understand the process.
Oh, they understand the process,
They
they
think
just
the
don't agree with
staff
our
has the
decision.
authority
Yeah, that's-
to approve or
I agree.
decline, as do the board approve it. They don't.
I'm gonna
They-
bring us back in instead, and I know, I'm sorry, we can talk 9
Yeah.
Pine Drive after we get through this.
Can we, is that a promise, or is that just?
You
just
can
trying
talk
to-
about it until the cows come home, right next door. Let's move, is there any introduction to new business?
Just a new business, I'll forward this to the committee. The new Welcome is now a free app, It's free. So if we could look at Janet putting that up as that it's available on our,
It was free before.
well, no, it's now downloaded for free today and join us in building a stronger community faster. So it's free, so it's gonna stay free, I guess.
So it's free to the public, but I think that, are you saying it's free for the municipality?
No, it says it's free to all, so I'm saying it's public and
For all
It was
institutions.
always free to the public. The public never had to pay for it. It was, so I'm not.
Could
really
we get
sure.
it out on our platform that it is available, or is that something you have to?
I don't think we should be promoting a third-party app that we're not
Okay.
involved in.
Okay.
But we can take a look at it.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, any other new business?
I'll send it out to you.
Okay, could I get a resolution to move into closed session under section 119.1 subsection D?
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Okay, everybody's in favor? Great, thank you.